What's going on, everyone? John here. Today I'm going to talk about how the vegan diet can potentially be bad for you. And I've seen a lot in social media recently that a lot of people want to go vegan or try the plant-based diet out as a New Year's resolution in an attempt to be healthier and minimize their carbon footprint and the impact their diet has in the environment. So the number one point that I wanted to make is the feeling of being restricted. A lot of people fail when attempting this plant-based diet, especially if it's a whole foods one, a healthy one, because they have no idea what the hell they're doing. A lot of times vegans can give kind of like a biased view on how easy it is to eat a plant-based diet, and of course it's easy if you've been doing it for a while, but for the vast majority of us who, you know, let's face it, most of us don't really like cooking. Most of us get takeaways and eat it out at restaurants and eat a lot of processed junk food. So for the average person, it's really not that simple. We can't pretend that it is. You know, with time, with experience, you'll make things a lot simpler for you. But in the beginning, there is no denying that it is a hard transition. It's super hard, and you might feel restricted with food choices when you're not educated about what you can eat. They don't know what to get, and they end up, you know, getting carrots and you know, lettuce or whatever, just like a little salad mix, and they start eating that. And obviously when you're eating carrots, you're not gonna feel satisfied, you're not gonna feel fulfilled, you're gonna feel bored, you're gonna feel restricted. Some places you can, like in the States, there's a lot of fast food restaurants, a lot of packaged meals and processed foods that you can choose. Obviously that is not the most healthy choice, but it is a convenient one, and if you're not going into a plant-based diet for health reasons, that is still better than you know, the animal counterparts to those products. There's a lot of choices that you can make. There's a lot of groceries out there to choose from once you know that. So educate yourself, know what you can buy, know what is good for you, and then go into the grocery store with a mission, with a plan, with a list, so you don't have to wander around there for hours scratching your head not knowing what to do. But do not think that that comes easily. It does take effort, which brings us to the next point. It consumes a lot of time in the beginning especially. So obviously you know what to do now, you know the foods that you can eat, but now you have to learn how to prepare it, and that can be a nightmare for the vast majority of us who hate to spend time in the kitchen, who have busy lives. We have a family, we have you know, really busy jobs. Maybe we have 2 jobs, maybe we you know, have college to attend to and work at the same time. It's not going to be very cost effective to go out to every single meal. You're going to save so much money preparing your own food, and there are ways to prepare your food in your own kitchen without spending a huge amount of time. It's pretty easy to buy canned beans and some pre-cooked rice, put it together with some broccoli, but let's face it, that is not very tasty. And most of us in our society, because we're so used to an explosion you know, in our mouths in terms of taste, that sounded really bad, but we're so used to these crazy flavors that eating a very clean whole food diet like that can be very boring. So it does take time to figure out how to make healthy dressings or sauces to go along with your meals, how to prepare veggies without using a bunch of oil, how to prepare potatoes without deep frying it. There are tons of other YouTube channels to check for quick recipes, but the fact is that you have to, absolutely have to spend time in the kitchen. You have to learn how to cook, and that takes time, and that is something that a lot of people believe that they don't have. But in reality, we all have time. We all have 24 hours in a day. I know it's difficult. It's about prioritizing it. If you have to wake up, you know, half an hour, 1 hour earlier, or go to bed 1 hour later, it doesn't matter. Find some time, maybe even when you're taking a crap in the bathroom, but find some time to educate yourself to see how to prepare different meals. And there are so many ways to save time in the kitchen. You can do meal prepping, so prepare your food in bulk and take it with you to school or work. Alright guys, so reason number 3, your social life will be affected. There's no going around that. It is the harsh truth of doing something that the majority of people on this planet don't do. You're going against the norm. You're doing something very, very different from what everyone else is doing. So that comes with a lot of criticism, a lot of judgment, a lot of misunderstanding, and unfortunately that is something that we all have to learn how to deal with, and that is very, very challenging. It takes a lot of self-control, it takes a lot of patience. When you're doing something different, your friends and family are the first people that are gonna criticize or question your decisions. The vast majority of us just want to fit in, want to be accepted, want to be loved. If you want to be accepted into a pack, if you don't want to be judged, if you don't want to be disliked, it doesn't make sense to do the exact opposite of the people that you're trying to gain acceptance from. So what you have to do is just stand firm. If this is something that you believe in, if health is something that you really want to conquer, you just have to stand your ground. It does take a lot of courage. It does take boldness. It does require mindset training. You have to do a lot of work internally. We humans are social creatures. We do not want to sacrifice our entire social life and isolate ourselves because of a switch in behavior. So the first thing you want to do when you make a decision is to be super transparent about it. Just explain why you're making the decision to go plant-based, and also at the same time make sure that people know that you are not doing this different thing and judging other people that are not doing the same, because that is something that a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people who are meat eaters think and feel that you are judging them or criticizing them for not being vegan just because you switched over. So that is something that you have to establish in the very beginning and tell them, you know, listen guys, I don't judge your way of eating. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm trying this new lifestyle out, and I think that is the best thing for me, my health. I saw a couple documentaries about animal cruelty. I'm not judging you for anything that you're doing just because I'm now doing things differently. We are the same, we're still good friends, and we can just continue living the way we have always been living. So if you approach it from that point of view and you let people know transparently how you feel and why you switched over, and let people know how your relationship is still the same, there is no judgment coming from your side, there'll be no judgment coming back to you from the other side as well. So you have to be sure that you go through the mindset training, the meditations required for you to kind of have a very, very open perspective about things. Don't switch your lifestyle and start judging everyone else. No one likes that. Just because you feel you're doing something right doesn't mean that you have to judge other people. People are not wrong, you're not right. People are not bad people just because of their behavior. People are shaped by their environments, they're shaped by indoctrination, information that has been fed to us all since birth. There is no one who is free from influence of others, which affects our personal opinions and the way we see the world. So the people are not wrong. People are not wrong at all. Maybe the way that they were taught, maybe the way that we are all taught was horrible, but that doesn't mean that that person, like the actual person itself, is doing something wrong. You have the right to criticize the system, the way that things work, but don't attack an individual. That is not the way to go. There is nothing that will ruin your position and your opinions more quickly than being judgmental and aggressive about it. So if you get criticized, it is very important for you to know your ground and stay calm. You have to be able to stay calm, but you also have to be able to respond to questions that people have. For example, you have to know that you can be perfectly healthy on a plant-based diet, and why, and how you can get certain different nutrients, and also figure out the stats about the environment, the pollution, the greenhouse gas emissions that are caused by livestock. That way you know how to respond to them and argue politely and educate people in a good way without causing any drama. It will take time, but trust me, it's worth it. If you do it right from the beginning, it's going to be so easy. And all the social problems that you are facing in the beginning will fade away very rapidly as long as you're transparent and keep a positive outlook and mindset around things. I have, most of my friends are not vegan, and we have a very good time. We understand each other, we're fully transparent. I can't really feel my fingers anymore, so I'm making my way home. At the end of the day, it's all worth it. It really is, because your health and the environment, our planet, and all its inhabitants are worth experimenting with this diet for. So I hope you guys could find something useful out of this video, and if you are interested in trying the vegan diet out in January, Vivo Life, the supplement company that I'm working with, actually has a January plant-based challenge which you can join. The link is in the description box below. You'll get loads of tips from me and other people of how to make your transition easier, and give you loads of extra tips and tricks of how to do this right. So follow the link below, sign up, and start on January if you guys are interested. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I can't even speak, it's so cold. I'm gonna go in and have a coffee right now. Anyways, thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you very soon. Peace out.